There has been so much happening in this past October, and I cannot wait to share with you guys my October reads and what I thought about them. I had some amazing reads, and quite frankly, I can't wait to dive in. So, let's get into my October reads. Hey readers, and welcome back. I am so excited to share with you guys. I took a little bit of a break because, well, there's a lot of things going on. There was Halloween, and I had to prepare my son and take him trick-or-treating. And also the nostalgia of Halloween. I just love the vibe. I love sharing with my community. And most importantly, I was just wanting my son to have fun and get to know the holiday a little bit better. He is 3, so he was super excited. So excited that he walked the entire neighborhood and held all his candy, and his bucket was entirely full at the end of the night. I was super proud of him. He was just so happy and so proud of himself for walking up to strangers. And let me tell you something, the one thing that every mom at the end of the night is tired of saying is say thank you, say thank you. And I didn't understand that until this year. And it was just by the 4th house, my son got it. He was like, thank you. And it just melted my heart, like literally melted my heart. So shout out to the neighbors and shout out to everybody who participated in my neighborhood because you guys made it special. But enough of my Halloween. It's been crazy on my end. We're also potty training, so bear with me. I took this whole past week off because I just needed to catch up with potty training, and my son is just not having it. But before we get into anything else and not make this video very long, let's get into my October reads. So the first series that I read this October is the Shepherd King series, and it starts with One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns is the second book. There is only 2 books in this series, which is freaking awesome. I don't have to go through 5 books in a series, so this was an absolute banger. I loved it. It gives you the I want to say Sleepy Hollow vibes. I want to say October, very fall, very misty, very much giving mystical vibes. Like I can just envision the fogs, and that's what this book gives, okay? I just want to say that this book has a unique magic system behind it. I want to say it was tied to cards, and cards held magic, and once you tap the cards 3 times, then it just gives you magic. And I thought that was cool. It's something that I personally have never read before. I don't recall reading any type of magic system where it relies on a card. It kind of reminded me of Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know if anybody else is a nerd like I am, but I played Yu-Gi-Oh! In my old day, okay? It reminded me of Exodia, and you're trying to collect these cards to build up Exodia, which is a monster, and unleash this monster on your battlefield, essentially. That's how this book felt like. So this magic system revolved around 12 cards. These cards were pretty much powerful. In this book, those 12 cards needed to be mended together to lift a curse from a kingdom or place, I guess you can say. And this book follows the female main character, Elspeth, and Elspeth was basically infected, which in this book, the infected are people that have gone through like a fever and gotten sick, and then from this sickness they gained powers, but they are powers that are unpredictable, and they begin to have like dark black veins and they go crazy. However, in this kingdom, the king decides to basically kill all these people and execute them once they become infected. He believes in just getting rid of them, and he makes it into law that these people should not hide, and if anybody hides them, then those people are also put on trial. However, Elspeth's family decided to hide her, specifically her father. Now, Elspeth comes out of hiding. Obviously, she is now 19. She got this fever when she was a little girl, and there's a lot of things that go on with her, especially since she meets a highwayman, and this highwayman is the nephew of the king, who is seeking to reunite these 12 cards and lift the fog and the curse from this kingdom. Now, Elspeth is dealing with her power, and the power that she gained from having this fever and this sickness was something called the Nightmare. And the Nightmare is someone that she calls because he is in the back of her mind, and he sometimes talks to her, sometimes saves her life when she was in trouble. And she kind of called him Nightmare because he was in her darkest parts of her mind. But I absolutely love this series. This is a must read. I can't rave enough about it. It is an experience that you need to experience for yourself, essentially. And the next series that I read this past October is none other than the Kindred's Curse Saga. So I read the Spark of Everflame, I've read the Glow of Everflame, and also on my Kindle, I downloaded Heat of Everflame. And this was by none other than Penn. I just want to be honest with you guys. If you guys are looking for spice, this was the equivalent of blue balls for me. If there is one, I don't know. It was just so frustrating because it's like a tension that builds up and builds up and builds up, and you're kind of like, okay, when is this gonna happen? And hello. But if you're looking for spice, you're not gonna get it in the first book, you're not gonna get it in the second book, and in the third book there's just so much almost happened but not quite. And I love a good book, yes, and I understand the slow burn of things. But girl, Penn, girl, three books, seriously. And I may add that this is an unfinished series, and I believe the fourth book is supposed to come out next year, but I'm hoping that there is more spice scenes instead of just the build up and the build up and the build up and me being let down. That's all I'm saying. But I just want to also clarify that this book was also interesting in a way. It's about two different types of people, two different classes in this book or series, and it dives into mortals and then some people called descendants. And descendants are basically people that are higher up and in the royal palace and wealthy, and these people have powers that obviously the mortals don't have. And the female main character, Diem, is, well, she's a mortal. Or so we think. And the reason why I say so we think, because I don't want to spoil it, and B, she just has different characteristics than the regular mortals. So in this book, the descendants are looked at as, blonde hair, blue eyes. Like, they're distinguishable by their eyes because their eyes are colored. So they're either blue or just a different color than brown, and mortals have brown eyes and, black hair, brown hair. Diem finds herself in a situation where her mother disappears, and now her mother is a healer. Healers are healing, yes, the mortals, but also they try to avoid going to the descendants because the descendants have the power to heal themselves. However, the children cannot heal themselves before a certain time, so sometimes the healers are called to the palace to heal children. Now with Diem, her entire life she was told what to do, who to be, and what to become. She never had choices in her life, and I think that is powerful because there are plenty of times that we grew up in a strict household and were told what to do and when to do it, and not really coming from a place of advice, more like, no, this is the path that we chose for you and you need to follow it because that is the right thing to do. But in reality, she was screaming internally because she's like, I don't know who I am. I don't know why I'm different. And I was told a lie. So basically, her whole life was a lie. And her mother kept so many secrets. I feel like her mother was such a manipulator, such a narcissist, and I just didn't like her. She's not the mother of the year. I just want to clarify that because she completely disappeared. She did a whole bunch of shenanigans. And here's Diem worried about her mother. But that's all I'm going to say on that subject because I don't want to ruin the plot for those of you who did not read this book. All I can say is that this book had so much betrayal, so many secrets, so many things that were hidden. And then Diem is set out to identify all these different things, figure out what happened to her mom, unravel secrets, unravel her identity and what she identifies as, because she's like, well, I don't feel like immortal, but she denies herself and she's like, no, I am mortal, I am mortal, I am mortal. But she's trying to convince herself of that. And I also want to say that Diem is a very forgiving character. I don't know if that sits well with me. I feel that people wronged her and it's like, oh, I forgive. Girl, you're always angry. You're always wanting to do something. And then to the people that you should be angry at, like your mother, you're just like, no, she's my mom. And no, I was baffled. And also her childhood friend, Henry, I don't even know what to say about him. But let me know in the comments what you think about Henry if you've read this saga. I don't like him at all. I know he was Bad News Bears when I seen him. I mean, when I read about him, but you know, my imagination says I seen him. But it's just, I just want her to have a backbone in book 4. That's all I'm gonna say. This series was a solid 4 stars for me. I wish I can give it more, but there was just something missing from these books and I felt like it dragged on as far as just Diem and her romantic interests and her going back to the same cattle. It was just kind of like, girl. But anyways, it was a good read. If you want to pick this up, totally cool. But I'm just warning you that you're not going to get any spice much until maybe book 3. Now, the next book that I'm going to be discussing is House of Rayne by Harley LaRoe. Now, this book had everything. Everything that the last saga was basically missing. It had spice, it had just creepiness, it had Halloween vibes, it had a creepy monster, it had scary scenes. Listen, I didn't know what I was expecting with this book, but all I know is that I didn't even know it was paranormal. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know it was paranormal, okay? I did do a deep dive on this book. I will link it down below if you want to watch it and know how I felt about it. But I just want to let you guys know this was a 5-star read for me. It had a lot of spice. I'm talking about 5 jalapenos, okay? So if you're looking for something spicy and LGBTQIA friendly, this is the perfect book for you. And as a married, straight woman, I mean, I've been married for 14 years. This book had me like learning new things, if you know what I mean. And I always say, I am very open-minded to reading every single genre and different things because that's how we learn. And also I want to experience different feelings, different things. I just want cinema, okay? I just want cinema. I read for the experience. I read for the emotional impacts. This is my second LGBTQIA friendly book and I love them. But this book does carry so much trauma, so many secrets. And this is a book about Salem. Salem is the FMC or female main character. She is going through a nasty just breakup. She was supposed to marry someone. He cheated, and well, she set out on a mission to travel and forget about everything, as she should. And she was at a bar one day and she met Rayne, and Rayne didn't really want to know her name or anything. They had a one-night stand, a really steamy one-night stand in the bathroom. I know, the bathroom. It's okay, y'all. It was good. But Salem just couldn't get her mind off of Rayne, and she had booked weeks prior a trip to this one island. Once she got there, she realized, oh crap, this girl that I had a one-night stand owns this place. I booked a trip here for 2 weeks and now I'm stuck with this person. And they were both shocked, and I was too. I was like, these girls are gonna see each other again. Oh, I just didn't know where it was gonna go, okay? I didn't know where it was gonna go. But yes, they uncover so many of Rayne's family secrets surrounding her mother's death and also her father's death. And Salem helps her through this ordeal and finding their true selves, and Rayne finally realizing that she is enough and she is who she is. And mind you, this town, this island is very religious. Like, they close everything down on Sundays. They basically go to church, and they judged Rayne for being who she is. This book dives into that as well. This book was creepy, okay? This one creature got on all fours and started charging towards Salem and Rayne. And I had to close my Kindle at that point because it was, like I said, it's like watching a movie for me, because I'm imagining things. I'm literally, while I'm reading, I'm imagining things happening, and I didn't like it. Okay? I didn't like it. The book was awesome, but creepy stuff crawling on all fours. Y'all, I almost had a heart attack on that one. It was such an amazing book. I recommend it if you want to read something spooky and something very powerful emotionally, something freeing, and it was just such a good book. It captured so many different things, emotions, and just going through it with them was kind of like being home. It's like, oh man, accepting who you are and going through things together. I mean, Rayne's hotel, or B&B, sorry, is very much haunted, and they're just going through things together, but also they discover so much of themselves within this book, and I absolutely adored it and loved it. It was such a good read. And it is a standalone. If you haven't read it, pick it up. It's awesome. Hey, and the last series that I've read for the month of October is Zodiac Academy. Now, at the time of this video, I am on book 7 of this series. If you want to know a little bit more about how I'm reading this and any information on this book, I did do a video which I will link down below for you. I just want to say that so far, this series has been something. So far, this series for me is a 4.5 star. Book 1 kind of sets everything up for you. It sets up the world, it sets up the characters, and then I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't put the books down. I was literally gonna go, oh, I'm gonna read one, because it's a lot of books, okay? And it's overwhelming, and that's why it took me so long and I put it off. But I thought to myself, okay, if I can just pick up one book and then do a different read for my TBR and then read the second. No, it didn't happen that way. I literally had to go to the second book, go to the third book, go to the fourth book, because it was just so interesting. It's it's growing on me. The more you read from it, the more you immerse yourself in this series. I love it. And it follows twin sisters, Tori and Darcy, and both of them live in the mortal world. They discover their fae, and then a professor from the Fae world goes into the mortal world, gets them and tells them, hey, listen, you guys are not mortal. You guys are Fae. You guys have powers. You guys need to go to this academy in our world and awaken your powers. And they were just like, are you on drugs? Like, literally, they looked at this man and said, are you on drugs? But anyways, they decided they would go because their parents were king and queen of Solaria, which is the Fae world, and they left a hefty inheritance. And so the twins had a very hard life. They went throughout their childhood from foster home to foster home, and when they turn 18, they're out of the system, and they got kicked out of their last foster because the foster didn't get a paycheck from the government. So he was like, you know what, you guys are grown up, get out. And so these twins were literally living on the edge because they didn't have food at home. They were barely scraping for rent, and they saw this as an opportunity to just leave this mortal world and work towards something else. And they go through a lot in this book. They go through bullying, heavily bullying. They don't understand the Fae way, I guess you can say. They don't understand the Fae world. They don't know how things work. They just learned they had powers. They awakened their powers at this ceremony in the school. And they kind of have to go through this motion of learning who they are, who their parents were. I absolutely got delved into it. I got to love a lot of the characters. And I feel like this series, once I finish it and once I get to book 9, I feel like I'm going to miss them. I feel that I'm going to miss every single character in this book, specifically Seth. I love Seth. And I'm finding myself in book 7 right now, just happy or awaiting his chapters to pop up. There's a lot of POVs from different people as you go on in the series. That's all I'm going to say. But I absolutely love this series. It's a 4.5 for me because currently in book 7, I feel like it's dragging on too much and I just want to get to the plot. I'm at 74% from this video and I just wanted to get to the plot, and I feel like book 7 has a lot of fillers so far. So we will see what happens, and then we'll see what happens with book 8 and 8.5. So I will let you guys know. I will be uploading a video once I finish this series and give my whole take on it and what I think about the whole series as a whole. So for the month of October, I had 12 reads. I am amazed at myself. I couldn't believe I read 12 books in the month of October. I'm a mom. I'm very busy. I'm going through a lot of life changes and also potty training my toddler and also holidays, Halloween, getting him ready with this little costume. It was fantastic. We enjoyed it. We're trying to find a new home. It's been chaotic. What has helped me the most was my Kindle, audiobooks. When I wasn't reading on my Kindle at night, because normally I do a lot of my reading at night once I put my toddler down, I am doing chores with the audiobooks in my ear, and I switch, and that's how I've done it. And I kind of like that system because I'm kind of like, okay, if I'm not listening to the book, I'm reading it, or vice versa. So if any other moms out there are thinking to yourselves, why can't I read more books in a month? It's just too much. Trust. There's a lot that you can do to kind of get your reads going. And audiobooks have definitely saved me a bunch of times. I do go to sleep late. Don't judge me. But lately, with the Zodiac Academy series, I've been going to bed like at 1 or 2 in the morning. And I know that's bad. And that's where a lot of my reading comes from. If I can encourage any other mom out there to read more, you can absolutely do it. Do something that feels comfortable for you and your household. But ultimately, the way I feel about it is that even if you read 2 books a month, 3 books a month, that is more than the average of the readers in the United States itself. I just want to say that. So I applaud you for finishing 2 books, 3 books. It is not a marathon. It's not a sprint to see who reads the most in a month. I just want to say that. It just so happens that I was reading through Zodiac Academy like water because it was just so fascinating to me and I just couldn't put the books down. But normally I average about 6 to 7 reads a month. I've never read 12 books in a month, okay? This is my first. So if you're a mom out there and you're thinking down on yourself and you're thinking, man, I don't read enough, and it's okay. It's okay if you read 2 or 3 books in a month. That is totally normal. And I also want to say you are doing fantastic. You're a great mom. And if nobody told you today, you are beautiful. And you're a baddie that reads. And that's beautiful. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being here as always. And don't forget to like this video if you like my content and if this content spoke to you. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos and to help support me and my channel. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, and I will see you next time.